Hello, fellow Wiccans, and welcome back to the Random Article Podcast. I'm your co-host, Bujan, joined as always by the tea-starved Madison. How are we doing this fine evening?
We're doing great. Let me just pause and turn my heater off. I just heard it going. All right.
Perfect. We're trying to keep it cool tonight.
Nice.
And our goal here is to read every Wikipedia article ever written, one by one. And to do so, we're going to be clicking that random article button. And just to make sure that everything is truly random, Madison will be rolling randomly in the Buy Nothing group to see how many times we click that random article button. Let's get into it. But before we get into it, as we promised you last week, let's start off talking about 1913 in music.
I do not remember this. You just made that up.
I don't remember it either, but this article is a list of notable events in music that took place in the year 1913. I'm assuming that's the Gregorian calendar.
This is the most boring article I've ever seen already.
There's some notable events here, though. Danny Boy was released.
I'm scrolling through the published popular music. Nope, nothing.
Danny Boy. In 1913, Louis Armstrong began playing the cornet in the band the New Orleans Home for Colored Waifs.
What?
Yep.
Maybe we should listen to one.
Of the New Orleans Home for Colored Waifs.
Wait, what's a waif? I feel like I should know what a waif is before I say it.
Maybe it's Wife and I can't read. Found an article. On January 1st, 1913, Louis Armstrong attended a New Year's Eve parade and shot 6 blanks from his stepfather's .38 revolver. A policeman arrested him on the spot. Later that day, Judge Andrew Wilson sentenced the young boy to the Colored Waifs Home, a reform school on the outskirts of New Orleans. Okay, so the band wasn't called the New Orleans Home for Colored Waifs.
Right,
it was played the cornet in the band.
And
in the house.
Just for the record, a waif is a homeless, neglected, or abandoned person, especially a child. It's an orphan.
Okay. There were a lot of good opera pieces that came out this year.
A lot of good.
There was a lot of musical theater. Adele.
I saw that and I was like, wait, I know her. No, it's not that Adele. Mm-mm.
There was a lot of musical theaters about girls. The girl from Utah. The girl on the film.
Okay, what about births? Who was born this year? There's a whole list.
What are the odds that you know any of them?
They all died in the 90s.
This guy died in 2007.
Yeah.
Tikhon Khrennikov.
Who's this? June Havoc. I just liked her name.
If I was a superhero, that'd be my superhero name.
Havoc?
June Havoc.
June Havoc, of course.
Yeah.
My mom has a little chihuahua, and his name is Bosco now. He's like a little wuss. But when they got him, his name was Savage.
Why would they change that?
Because he's a chihuahua.
A savage one?
No, he's not.
Bosco, like after the chocolate syrup?
No, I don't know where they got Bosco. And when they were talking about, oh, we're going to name him Bosco, I was like, don't do that. No, don't do that. And they did it. So he's bossy now.
Yeah, it's perfect. Bossy Bosco.
No, I'm saying he's bossy. That's his nickname.
Oh, I thought that was his personality trait.
Oh, no. He's not bossy. He's a chihuahua.
I feel like they can be uppity.
If you let them. They're 2 pounds. Okay, there's got to be something out there for us. Let's move on. I can't look at this article anymore.
Okay, here's a thought. What is the sexiest number? No. The sexiest letter.
Number was going to be easier.
Numbers obviously is 69.
X.
X. Really?
Well, yeah, because it's always like X-rated.
Okay, see, I was going to go with B.
Because they look like boobies?
Exactly, the capital B. It looks like boobies. Then if you put it upside down, it also looks like balls.
True.
And then the lowercase b looks like
it does.
a wiener.
Like the side, like a side
yeah,
view.
like a profile.
Or if someone got a testicle removed.
And then, like, so many sexy words start with B.
Like what?
Like boobies.
And what else?
Breast.
Okay, how about something that doesn't have to do with boobs?
Butthole.
Is that sexy?
Balls.
Okay.
To some people.
Yeah, I was just going to say some people, I guess.
Bijan.
Oh,
Huh?
God.
Huh?
Here we go. Here we go.
Let's talk about compression stockings.
What? Why is there an article on this?
Compression stockings are a specialized hosiery designed to help prevent the occurrence of and guard against further progression of venous disorders, such as edema, phlebitis, and thrombosis.
Okay, I thought it was going to be like, I guess not stockings. I'm thinking of like Spanx, like full body, like compression wear. What do you call that? Like a corset type of situation.
I was going to call that a fetish, but...
No, like I have one that's like, it's like a mini dress and it just like sucks you in. It's just tight. It's like a tube dress.
This isn't a fetish.
Okay. All right. So this is for diabetes.
And phlebitis.
Oh, I like their thumbnails. They're nice and colorful. Compression socks of every color.
Compression stockings, please.
Stockings. So sorry. They help increase circulation. How? Seems like they're cutting off blood flow, but also help prevent the formation of blood clots in the lower legs. Also aid in the treatment of ulcers of the lower legs.
You can get ulcers in your legs?
Apparently.
This is news to me.
Oh, they're tightest in your ankles, and then they become less constrictive toward the knees and thighs. Okay. That makes sense. Then they're not like, because I thought they were just like super tight at like below your knees, and like now no blood is going.
So you want them tightest at the toes.
By compressing the surface veins, arteries, and muscles, they force circulating blood through narrower channels. This is smart. Whoever thought of this is smart.
Well, the use of compression therapy is not new. As early as the Neolithic period, images of soldiers with bandaged lower extremities were found in the drawings of the caves of the Sicilian Sahara. So, people knew about this for a long time. It was written in papyrus. Hippocrates treated his patients' leg ulcers with tight bandages. Leg ulcers have been a thing forever.
Don't know if I've like heard of anyone in real life using these. Have you? Have you ever seen a compression stocking IRL?
I used a compression sock.
But I don't think that's the same thing.
I mean, I used it for my ankle because, like, it would swell.
Well, I just said compression sock, and you corrected me to stocking. Okay. So I don't think that you get to talk about it now.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, you just like put tight things, and you push the blood around. It's so gross. They can just push blood around. It seems so.
You're so weird about like blood and like you don't like shellfish because you can like feel their spines or whatever.
Okay,
like, you have blood in your body. Like
yeah, but like you would think that everything inside is like it just does its thing, and I can't like squeeze it and cause.
Then you're not going to want to hear this. I have a yoga teacher, and in her class, we regularly will have like a rolled up yoga mat that's pretty like dense and probably like a foot high or whatever, and you'll get on top of it like on your stomach, and you get like, if you feel right underneath your ribs but before like your pelvic bone where it's just like gooey organs and stuff, and you will literally just lay over it and like roll around like on your organs, and it's the weirdest feeling at first, but then you get used to it.
Why do you do that?
I don't know, to like unstick things and like aid in digestion and stuff.
Are your organs sticking to each other?
No, like food and undigested food and stuff in there.
I see. So this is the theory that gum sticks inside for 7 years. You gotta roll around to get it out.
Oh, and I were just talking about this. And he might or might not have mentioned whether you can blow a bubble out of your butt.
That's why I always swallow my gum.
Yeah, that's what I told him. You'd have to swallow a lot of it and then like maybe. But I said if you were able to do that, you would have some big problems.
All right, hear me out. Don't swallow gum. But, okay, in reality, if you were to take, like, a chewed piece of gum and, like, hold it over your butthole.
Yeah.
And then chew into it.
You'd have to do it because you know how, like, when you're learning to blow bubbles, you just pop them all the time? You have to, like, blow very softly. You would have to have a very, very controlled butthole. Like, very controlled farts. Like, I'm just going to let it ease out.
Easy peasy. Like that. So you think it can be done?
I think it could be done with the right gum, the right booty hole, and like the right pressure.
I mean, we're talking Hubba Bubba. Like it's got to be, right?
Sure. Yeah. I think you would need more than one piece because you just have to kind of thickly cover like the whole area.
Man, why isn't Mythbusters still a thing?
Yeah, they would definitely take us up on that.
I want to see it done.
There's only one way to see it done if you want to see it done.
Maybe blowing bubble gum's too much. What about just like a bubble wand blowing a bubble, like a soap bubble, like holding a bubble wand in front of your patoot?
I mean, I guess you could do it out of your mouth.
Right, you like blow it from a distance too.
I've never actually like felt with my hand how strong a fart is.
You should probably try.
Yeah.
Compression socks though.
I don't know how we got on that topic. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can move on.
7.
Let's talk about hypnic jerk.
This sounds dirty.
This is a family show. We would never. A hypnic jerk, hypnagogic jerk, sleep start, sleep twitch, myoclonic jerk, or night start is a brief and sudden involuntary contraction of the muscles of the body which occurs when a person is beginning to fall asleep, often causing the person to jump and awaken suddenly for a moment.
I have so much to say about this.
I do this nonstop.
I know what they mean. It's like when you're falling asleep and then all of a sudden you just wasn't there a myth that it was like your heart was stopping and your body's like jump starting your heart?
I think I heard something about that.
Yeah.
I think this is like when you ever have those, like when you're first falling asleep, as it says, you have those like really short dreams where you're just walking down the street and then you trip.
Or you slip, or the step isn't there where you thought it was going to be. Oh,
yeah, and then suddenly you're like, whoa, oh my,
yeah.
Oh god, I hate those.
So 70% of people experience them at least once in their lives. That seems low. Everyone I've ever talked to about this, which is not a lot of people,
which is now
has experienced it. And 10% experience it daily. Do you experience it daily?
Not daily.
Like weekly?
Bi-weekly.
Wow. See, it probably happens to me like once every other month or every 2 or 3 months or something.
I think it happens to me a lot when I try to fall asleep earlier than I normally do.
Oh, interesting.
Like if I'm like falling asleep like while like watching the TV or something.
Mm-hmm.
And like you so you're like not really going into a proper sleep, you're just sort of like taking it short and then you just kind of jerk awake.
And what's your dream? Is it like always the same thing or is it
like 2 seconds of walking down the street and then suddenly you trip? It's like a dream is trying to start and then whoopsies, my shoe's untied.
Yeah. It does say men have been known to experience it at a higher rate than women.
So there's a causes section. Potential causes include anxiety, stimulants like coffee, nicotine, stress, strenuous activities in the evening. It could also be facilitated by fatigue or sleep deprivation.
Maybe that's your thing. Maybe it's because like when you're falling asleep early, that means you're like really tired.
That makes sense. However, most hypnic jerks occur essentially at random.
In healthy people. Okay, well.
Okay, you don't need to call me out like that.
What?
In healthy people, it's random.
Good, because yours isn't random. Yeah, so here they say sometimes hypnic jerks are mistaken for another form of movement during sleep. For example, hypnic jerks can be confused with restless leg syndrome, periodic limb movement disorder, where the patient moves limbs involuntarily and periodically during sleep.
Yeah. I sleepwalk if you pick me up and put me on my feet.
Who's going to pick you up and put you on your feet?
Like my dad used to. He used to like take me to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
I thought he was going to be like his friends are over, they're drinking. He's like, ha, watch this.
Check this shit out. No, he when he was going to bed, he'd take me up and take me to the bathroom in the middle of the night. So I was like a little kid. I guess I was asleep and sometimes I'd start to wander and he'd just let me just to see where I'd go.
And where'd you go?
Apparently, I went and tried to get into the garage. I was kept on trying to open the door, but it was locked. I just kept on pulling it,
Oh my god, where are you trying to go?
Who knows?
One time, I apparently woke up. Oh, I was potty training, so it was a thing that it was cool. My mom was stoked that I woke up to go to the bathroom, but then when she came out to find me or whatever, I was squatting over my dad's boot, about to pee in it. But it's a totally reasonable mistake. I mean, boot, a toilet.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever been to a lot of countries have those squatting toilets, Yeah. You ever been
I had to use them, once in Morocco. And I, looked at it, and I was just oh, no. Luckily, I think I only had to pee, so it wasn't, that big of a deal. But I was just no.
It's, that's the way you're supposed to poo, though.
It's true. It makes sense. Hence the squatty potties. It's like a shower stall, right? Floor, kind of, with a hole in the center. And then it's got two little pads for your feet that have some grippy.
Yeah. I always wonder, how do they throw up into those? On your hands and knees?
No.
Or, standing?
God, no. Standing. I would squat. I would squat down on...
To puke, hands on your knees.
No, I wouldn't touch anything.
Well, hands on your knees and face down to puke.
I guess. I don't know what I would do with my hands. Yeah, you would feel you'd want to put your hands on the ground, right?
Yeah, you need stability.
God, I don't know. Especially if I was drunk. I don't know what I would do.
Okay, should we move on?
Yes.
Let's talk about explosion welding.
Oh, shoot.
Explosion welding, also known as EXW, is a solid-state process where welding is accomplished by accelerating one of the components at extremely high velocity through the use of chemical explosives.
I have no idea what any of that means.
I think you just shoot something metal at something else and call it welding.
Oh, here's the diagram. Nope, no idea. There's a big bang and some red and some bent blue and some lighter blue.
The process is mostly utilized to clad carbon steel plate with a thin layer of corrosion-resistant material. Due to the nature of this process, producible geometries are very limited. You're shooting something at something else.
You can make plates, tubing, and tube sheets, and that's it.
So, unlike other forms of welding, such as arc welding, explosion welding was developed relatively recently, in the decades after World War II. Its origins, however, go back to World War I, when it was observed that pieces of shrapnel sticking to armor plating were not only embedding themselves, but were actually being welded to the metal. So basically, they shoot metal really fast at something else that's metal, and they're that's welding.
Whoa. This is on a huge scale. Okay, I thought it was on a little piece of metal.
Oh no, they're shooting shit.
Yeah.
At shit.
What? How do you call this welding? Now I see why you keep saying that.
Yeah, this isn't you're just shooting things at other things, and because it's metal and it's hot, it sticks.
Wow.
It'd be like shooting me in the arm, and when the bullet sticks in my bone, being yep, that's welding.
That's welding.
Advantages and disadvantages.
Disadvantages, you have to blow something up. Literally, blow up a mountainside.
Advantage, explosion welding can produce a bond between two metals that cannot necessarily be welded by conventional means.
Yeah, really.
A disadvantage of this method is that extensive knowledge of explosives is needed before the procedure may be attempted safely. Safely carrying a lot of weight in this sentence.
I can't believe this is a thing. Does anyone even use this, do you think?
DuPont applied for a patent for it in 1962, which was granted in 1964. Well, I mean, regular welding, arc welding, put some metal onto some metal.
You have, two metals? and then you melt some metal that they all stick
And
to.
they stick together. Yeah, it's basically hot glue.
Yeah, it's hot glue, but it's metal.
Yeah. Take that, engineers.
Yeah, take that. It's basically hot glue.
You're basically the equivalent of a Hobby Lobby mom.
Wait, you don't want to piss off like the welding people. They're on Instagram and I'm kind of scared of them. They're like badass. There's like a whole welding community on Instagram. Don't come at me. I respect you and I think what you do is great. It's awesome to hot glue metal together and keep doing it. I love you.
I used to use so much hot glue.
On what?
Everything.
Like what? I can't even think of the last thing
in my life. Like until I was like 13, probably.
What? Yeah, but okay, give me an example of what you would hot glue.
Popsicle sticks. Things.
To what?
To other things. To other popsicle sticks. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Let's talk about employee monitoring software.
Oh, spooky.
Employee monitoring software is a means of employee monitoring and allows company administrators to monitor and supervise all their employee computers from a central location.
Is this like known? Do the employees know? This is such a short article. I feel like you need to say more about this.
I think, okay, so this is just the software portion. If you click into employee monitoring, which has its own full article. Software monitoring is just a small portion of the surveillance methods that employees can take.
It's just one way to do it.
You can also use telephone tapping, video surveillance, email monitoring, location monitoring, and key logging. Wow.
Oh my gosh, I've heard of this. Like monitoring software. It says an employee monitoring program can monitor almost everything on a computer, such as keystrokes and passwords inputted. I remember and I was just thinking about this the other day, and I don't even know why. I had a friend, we were in like, I don't know, 7th grade. It was like when we were doing the AOL thing and the internet thing and like the early MySpace thing, maybe.
Sure.
And I remember one day she was like, I can't use my computer anymore. And her dad was like a detective in the police department. She was like, he told me last night that he had put, like way before, and she had been using it this whole time, he had put a program on there that sent him everything she typed into the computer. And I was like, that is creepy. Like, that is really bad. And all these years, I have hoped that there's no such thing as that.
Oh yeah, key logging is very real.
I don't like that.
Why would this father put a keylogger on his daughter's computer?
Well, here's my question. First,
suspicious.
Is it real time, or does it just like store everything where someone can go back and just see everything you've typed in?
I'm not a hacker by any means, but
I don't know. From what I remember, I think like they thought she was a troubled kid / maybe she was a troubled kid. I don't know. I was also a kid. I was probably a troubled kid as well. And they were very like overly protective. She was an only child. And I think that was like the situation. But that is like a huge invasion of privacy.
Yeah, I was going to say that's crazy invasive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you could, instead of doing key logging like that, you could just have alerts if the person looks up how to like find drugs or like.
Well, it was almost like it was more they wanted to like know what she was doing socially. Like I think they were worried about boys and stuff like that. And it was kind of a weird time because like in early MySpace days and like AIM and all that stuff, there were a bunch of randos out there. I remember being friends with like random internet people, and I'm wondering now like how many of them were adults?
I would argue that today is 100 times worse. You got the kids on the TikToks doing their little TikToks, and you got like the old guys watching the TikToks.
And that's fine. It gives them engagement and they're happy about that. Seriously. They're like, hey, join my OnlyFans, you know?
Is the old guy saying that, or is the...
No, the girls are saying it.
Okay,
the kids.
Gotcha.
The kids on the TikToks.
The kids are saying join my OnlyFans.
Yes.
I don't get TikTok. That's a subject for another day. We're talking about employee monitoring. Legality.
Oh, we're actually going on to employee monitoring. I thought I'm in to stay
here.
On software. Okay.
Oh no, I'm deep in here.
Okay.
So
legality.
I've heard that's often disputed. Employee monitoring often is in conflict with employees' privacy. It can also collect employees' personal information as well as their work-related activities. Employees want to maintain their privacy while employers want to ensure company resources aren't misused. In any case, companies can maintain ethical monitoring policies by avoiding indiscriminate monitoring of employees' activities. Why does this read like a course that I have to take for my job? I'm pretty sure I took this course.
This is like when people want to monitor their employees and they're like, is it legal? This is what they're reading.
Here's something fun. On May 7th, 2022, employers in the state of New York will be required to provide prior notice for the monitoring of employee internet, telephone, or email usage.
Wait, are you telling me right now in most places they don't have to give you notice that they're monitoring you? This is terrifying.
Should we move on?
Sure. Let's talk about a list of fictional dogs in video games.
Hell yeah.
I was trying to find, like, Crash Bandicoot, but he's not a dog. He's a bandicoot. What other dogs do I know? Don't judge me.
Oh, my favorite fictional dog, Sonic the Hedgehog. That's my favorite fictional dog.
You know what? Only God can judge me.
God and Tupac.
I don't know any of these. I thought I would know some. I don't know any of these guys.
Let's see if okay, The Last of Us 2, Alice. That's probably a good dog. One of many dogs trained by the WLF to assist in patrolling Seattle. I love that.
Do you know that game? Like, do you know any of these games? Because I don't even know games.
I know The Last of Us Part 2. It's the sequel to a very popular zombie survival game, The Last of Us.
Okay.
It had controversial reviews because it was actually, from what I've heard, a very good game, but the lead character was like a woman, and like, you know, gamers hate that. So
right. Okay.
So controversial.
And the dog was a woman?
The dog was
Alice.
also a woman.
The Elder Scrolls, that sounds familiar. I feel like that's really
Elder
popular.
Scrolls is a game like Oblivion, Skyrim.
I've heard of that. Well, the dog is Barbus.
I love that for that dog.
He sounds cute. Grand Theft Auto. Chop.
Oh, yes.
What does this mean? What does this mean? It says the pet dog of Lamar Davis, Chop, is eventually taken care of by Franklin Clinton. What does that mean?
I played this game.
What does that mean?
So the dog is owned by this one guy, Lamar, but then your character eventually takes control of it.
What do you mean takes control of? I thought he killed him.
No, it's like your friend's dog, and then it's like, oh, you're gonna adopt this dog now.
So he was literally taken care of by Franklin.
Yeah, by your character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm not enraged anymore.
Okay. Dog Meat is a pretty famous dog. I've never played the Fallout series, but Dog Meat is a famous dog. The Duck Hunt dog, everyone knows that guy. You know, iconic, sassy dog that always makes fun of you for missing.
I don't know that guy. He sounds fun, though.
Famous guy. We all know Gromit from Wallace and Gromit. Surprised he made this list. Good for him. Animal
Crossing. KK Slider.
Ooh. Is that the rapper?
It says a dog who has appeared in all of the Animal Crossing games to date. Yes, his purpose is performing music for the player.
Oh, there's also another rapping dog. Parappa the Rapper. From the game Parappa the Rapper.
Wow. Did you see the description for him? Trying to impress the love of his life, period. He motivates himself out of problems with his catchphrase, I gotta believe. What? How do you motivate yourself out of problems?
I gotta believe. His name comes from the Japanese term for paper thin. Poor Parappa.
Okay, I'm at the end. I didn't know any of the dogs. I honestly just thought Crash Bandicoot was going to be on there. I didn't realize until after we got into it that
he's not a dog. We didn't even get into it. You just realized it immediately.
Yeah. Right. So.
Right. Wowie mama, that was exciting. tune in next week when we're going to start out talking about the list of people executed in the United States in 2021.
Yeah, I have nothing to say to them.